Being alone, especially as old age approaches, is often portrayed as an idyllic state. Do what you want, when you want, no obligations, and no one to distract you. While there's some truth to that, there's another side to the coin that's not often talked about. The things that are unspoken until you face them head-on. After exploring numerous online platforms and forums, I've managed to gather the revelations of those who have already walked this path. This isn't just personal experience, but the collective wisdom of people who know what they're talking about. And it's not necessarily bad, it's just reality. So, let's talk about the aspects of living alone in later years that usually stay behind the scenes, and how to make the most of it. First and foremost, you need to be your own rescue service. One of the biggest revelations when living alone in older age is realizing that you are your own support and hope. There's no one around to notice if something goes wrong. There are stories of people who have fallen and remained helpless for hours, even days, because no one visited them regularly. One user shared online that they had to carry their phone everywhere, even in the shower, just in case. It might sound a bit extreme, but it's worth thinking about your safety in advance. You could, for example, purchase a smartwatch or a medical alert system, especially if you live far from civilization or don't have close neighbors nearby. It's one of those precautions that provides peace of mind and allows you to continue living alone with confidence. I'm reminded of a comment from a woman on an online forum who installed an emergency key box outside her house. In case of an emergency, trusted friends or relatives can get inside without resorting to drastic measures. And that's just one example, but what else lies ahead? Stay with us to learn more about the hidden sides of living alone and how to turn it into a fulfilling and safe adventure. Secondly, even introverts, contrary to the common belief that solitude is a blessing for them, can experience its hardships. While living alone is often presented as ideal for introverts, even the most reclusive people are not immune to bouts of longing for companionship, especially in their later years. On various online forums, you can find many stories about how social connections weaken over time. Friends leave their hometowns, retire, or, sadly, pass away, and making new acquaintances becomes increasingly difficult. One elderly man shared his story of not having anyone to exchange a word with for days on end. He valued his independence, but at the same time felt the lack of those casual, insignificant interactions that arise when there's a close person nearby, a partner or neighbor, with whom you could discuss something simple, like the weather or dinner plans. For some, getting a pet has been a way out of this situation. Animals provide companionship, structure the day, and bring responsibility. One forum member shared, "My cat can't talk, of course, but he's always waiting for me at home, and that makes all the difference." Thirdly, maintaining a home in good condition can become an overwhelming burden. Over the years, one of the most difficult but rarely discussed problems is household management. As a person ages, their energy resources change, and tasks such as cleaning gutters, mowing the lawn, or even just vacuuming can seem exhausting. There are known cases where elderly people have overlooked certain household chores simply due to a lack of strength or desire to do them. One woman recounted how she made a list of necessary household chores but ended up postponing most of them. It wasn't a matter of neglecting her home, but the overwhelming difficulty of performing all the tasks independently. In such situations, don't hesitate to seek support. You can hire professionals to do the heavy lifting, or ask family and friends for occasional help. If finances allow, consider moving to a smaller living space, which means less upkeep and fewer worries, freeing up more time to enjoy the important things. Fourthly, the daily routine takes on special significance, and this is quite natural. An analysis of numerous personal accounts reveals how important daily rituals become when a person lives alone. In the absence of a partner or roommate with whom to share household chores or sudden decisions, routine becomes a pillar of stability. Morning coffee on the porch, afternoon walks, or watching a favorite TV show in the evening, these habits help maintain a sense of rhythm in life. A woman in her 70s shared her morning ritual. She plays the same musical piece while making breakfast to fill the quiet house with energy. Another man recounted how he eagerly anticipates watering his garden in the evening. He said it's not just about caring for the plants, but also the sense of purpose and organization it brings to his day. That's the beauty of it. Don't let anyone convince you that a strict routine is a bad thing. It's these small, regular moments that make living alone special. They are personal rituals that give a sense of control over one's life. Fifth, cooking for one, despite its apparent simplicity, can present both a challenge and a valuable opportunity. With age and independence, preparing food solely for oneself often becomes an unexpected stumbling block. The absence of needing to create large portions and the feeling of excessive effort spent on preparing a full meal just for oneself can lead to undesirable consequences. There are many stories of people who, succumbing to the temptation of simplicity, switch to convenience foods or order takeout. However, as one online forum participant rightly pointed out, the ability to enjoy cooking for oneself can radically change one's outlook. Cooking transforms from a burdensome chore into an act of self-care. A solution could be to cook large portions on weekends or choose dishes that can be eaten over several days. Some find solace in experimenting with new recipes, viewing it as an engaging hobby rather than a routine obligation. Ultimately, cooking for yourself can become a kind of self-love, a reminder that you are worth the effort. Moreover, in the long run, it is a healthier and more economical choice. Sixth, solitude can be both a gift and a heavy burden. The silence that unexpectedly descends upon someone newly alone, especially after the familiar hustle and bustle of a family home or a demanding work schedule, can be strikingly deafening. A lonely house, especially in the evening hours, can seem frighteningly quiet. For some, this peace becomes a source of inspiration. For others, a cause for anxiety. One elderly lady confessed that she constantly turns on the radio while doing housework to somehow fill the resounding emptiness. Another man said he listens to podcasts during the day, creating the illusion of live conversation. Music, audiobooks, television, any way to break the oppressive silence can have a beneficial effect. On the other hand, silence can become a real gift, especially for those who have spent their lives surrounded by numerous relatives and acquaintances. It is an opportunity for deep reflection, reevaluation of life's journey, and restoration of mental strength. Seventh, it is necessary to consciously maintain physical activity. Living alone, especially in old age, often leads to reduced physical activity. The absence of a partner or neighbor to encourage joint walks or sports can provoke a transition to a sedentary lifestyle. Many online forum participants admitted that after living alone for some time, they noticed a deterioration in their physical condition. One man shared that he gradually gave up his daily walks and started spending more time in his chair. I didn't realize how little I was moving until my body started to lose flexibility. Maintaining physical activity requires conscious effort when one is their own motivator. A great way to maintain health is to include physical exercises in the daily routine, regardless of their intensity. A daily goal for the number of steps taken, light morning exercises, or visiting a fitness club for the elderly. Even such small efforts can have a significant impact on well-being. One woman I read about got a dog solely for this purpose. Regular walks with the pet provide the necessary physical activity. Physical activity does not necessarily have to be associated with going to the gym. It can be gardening, dancing in the living room, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Keeping the body in motion not only strengthens health, but also improves mood and clears the mind. Eighth, one should be prepared for the fact that the perception of time may undergo unexpected transformations. It is often overlooked how living in solitude can transform one's personal sense of time. When the familiar rhythm of another person is absent in the house, it is easy to lose orientation in days, weeks, and even months. It's common to find stories online about time stretching out agonizingly or slipping through one's fingers unnoticed. One man, sharing his story on a forum, noted that after retiring and the passing of his wife, he would sometimes lose track of the day of the week or even the time of day. This is because external cues such as a partner's work schedule or children's activities, which previously structured the day, disappear. However, there's good news. You have the opportunity to create your own unique rhythm of life. Some people find solace in a structured daily routine, for example, dedicating specific days to specific tasks, Monday for grocery shopping, Thursday for house cleaning, and so on. Others find it helpful to dedicate themselves to a hobby that brightens the anticipation of a certain time of day or week, whether it's weekly interest group meetings, evening hours in the garden, or preparing a special Sunday dinner. It's important not only to keep track of time, but also to allow yourself to enjoy its passage. Living alone offers a unique opportunity to structure your days according to your personal preferences, and this is undoubtedly a valuable gift. The process of getting rid of unwanted items takes on a dual nature, becoming both simpler and more complex. Living alone gives this task special significance. On the one hand, the absence of disagreements with others about the value of certain items greatly simplifies the decision-making process. On the other hand, each item in the house becomes a reflection of personal history, holding memories and evoking emotional attachment, which makes parting with them painful. An elderly woman who had lived alone for a long time shared her thoughts online about how she found herself keeping things solely for their sentimental value while realizing their practical uselessness. She wondered who could be harmed by her penchant for hoarding these things since she lived alone. However, she was concerned that someone would have to sort through all this clutter after her death. Many members of online communities emphasize the emotional difficulties associated with getting rid of things when a person lives alone. Items acquire deep meaning, and parting with them feels like the end of certain stages of life. At the same time, simplifying the living space brings a sense of freedom. A 60-year-old man spoke about his decision to reduce the number of things to make life easier for himself and his family. This decision brought him peace of mind, as he knew that his home had become more manageable. Getting rid of clutter in old age and in solitude is not just about following the principles of minimalism, but also about striving to ensure that the surrounding space reflects the present, not the past. Keeping things that bring joy is perfectly acceptable, but parting with what no longer serves any purpose can bring liberation. It is recommended to start small, gradually disassembling individual zones and allowing yourself to experience the emotions associated with this. Ultimately, this is personal space, and everyone has the right to shape it as they see fit. Prepare for a possible decrease in invitations to visit, which, however, should not become a cause for despondency. On the contrary, this is a great opportunity to take the initiative and organize your own leisure time. Over time, and with the transition to a more mature age, social activity may undergo changes. This is not due to a loss of interest on the part of loved ones, but rather to the fact that friends and relatives, immersed in caring for families, careers, or even changing their place of residence, become less available for joint events. Many people sharing their experiences on online forums note a decrease in the number of invitations to various meetings, which can cause a feeling of isolation. One woman shared her experience, noting that she stopped waiting for the phone to ring and took the initiative into her own hands. This advice is extremely valuable. Instead of passively waiting for invitations, you need to actively shape your social life. This can be as simple as meeting a friend for coffee, organizing a book club, or holding a movie night in a cozy home setting. The advantage of self-organizing entertainment lies in the ability to adapt it to your interests and preferences. A man in his 60s spoke about creating a group for walks in the surrounding area, where participants explored local trails every week. This helped him maintain social connections, lead an active lifestyle, and do what he loved. Living alone provides unique freedom in shaping your social circle and leisure activities. It is important not to miss this opportunity. If you are fond of needlework, you can organize a themed evening. If you're a fan of a particular TV show, consider hosting weekly viewing parties with friends. By taking the initiative, you'll find that many people will gladly join your endeavors. In the hustle and bustle of living alone, it's easy to overlook self-care, but it becomes more important than ever during these times. When you live alone, there's no one to notice if you've been wearing the same clothes for days or neglecting to prepare a proper meal. It's easy to get stuck in a rut and stop taking care of yourself. Many on online forums admit that living alone sometimes creates a sense of meaninglessness. Who am I doing this for? But the point is, you're doing it for yourself. One man shared how, after years of living alone, he realized he was missing out on important little things: skipping meals, not showering regularly, and spending too much time on the couch. He confessed that he had to remind himself that he deserved the same care and attention he would give to another person. Self-care is not just about hygiene and proper nutrition, but also about taking care of your mental health. Whether it's visiting doctors, getting enough sleep, or simply doing activities that bring you joy, self-care is crucial when you're alone. One woman shared her ritual: lighting candles in the evening, applying a face mask, and reading a book. It's a small but important ritual that she does exclusively for herself to feel better. You should make self-care a priority even when there's no one around to notice. It's worth getting dressed in the morning, even if you don't plan on leaving the house, cooking your favorite meals, and treating yourself to things that lift your spirits. Ultimately, you may live alone, but you still deserve the best, and only you can give it to yourself. Loneliness in old age certainly presents certain challenges, but it also holds enormous potential for self-realization and finding inner harmony. You get a unique opportunity to build your life according to your own desires and needs, which is a priceless gift. It is important to remember that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, and preparing in advance for possible difficulties and being able to rely on the support of others when needed are signs of wisdom and foresight. You have a long and eventful life behind you, and there are many unexplored horizons ahead. Surround yourself with things that bring joy and peace, whether it's a loyal pet, a blooming garden, or a favorite book that can transport you to a world of dreams and fantasies. And in moments when you feel down, remember that you are not alone in your experiences. There is a whole community of people who are looking for their way and are ready to share their experiences and support you in difficult times. Don't hesitate to express your thoughts and share your story.